Hello, welcome to the Brown Sugar House music channel. Today we will be critiquing Baekyun's newly released music video for his song Candy. Now, I had really wanted to start my YouTube channel off on a more positive note, but when this music video came out, I just had to go for it. So in case you were wondering what this video is going to be like, to put it short, SM is getting complacent with some of their music production and really cutting corners with music video production. And you know, if one was amazing, I could forgive the other, but both are lacking. I hold K-pop idol music videos at a high standard because A, I've seen what they're capable of looking like, and B, they're heavily performance-based and reliant on a visual experience, so you want it as good as it could be. So I'm gonna get a little critical in this video. Keep in mind, when I talk about critique, a lot of my focus is actually on the design of it, so set design, directing, cinematography, editing, because these are things that I do myself. And so whatever I say, even if it's bad, it's not an attack on the artist himself, as I'm sure you know, especially with SM Entertainment, that their artists don't have that much say in their music. A lot of times, it's the company that does most of the legwork. To be clear, I'm pretty neutral about EXO. No negative or positive thoughts, just judging based on what I see and how I feel with this very specific piece. So for Candy, they came up with a very nice, fun, colorful visual concept, great job designers, but got lazy on the rest of it. It's so blatantly just a commercialized formula now, I feel quite bad for Baekyun. You would think because he's so capable of bringing in revenue that they would want to make his work as amazing as it could be. So if we start with the music itself, I think it's a pretty solid produced song, but to put it nicely, it has a lot of space for more originality. They played it very safe, which in turn made it very generic. To be blunt, it's basic and lacks character and depth. Nothing about the beats or the hook is special and makes me wonder if that's the consequence when you put 5 producers on one song and none are the actual artist. Instead of hiring so many people, how about combining that money in one very stellar producer? The song doesn't do Baekyun's talents much justice, nor tells me anything about him as an artist, as we all know he's capable of so much more. SM described this as a future R&B song with addictive synth instrumentation and a trendy melody, which should tell you enough what their intention with giving Baekyun his comeback is. Baekyun himself also used trendy to describe Candy. Unless you're making royalty-free stock music, no artist talks about music that they personally connect with and identify with using the words trendy. Not even EDM musicians. Anyway, moving along to the actual video, I'll talk about the good things first, which Baekyun actually had a significant part in: performance and choreography. Performance-wise, it felt genuine and he was enjoying himself. Obviously, his singing is flawless as usual. His expressions are all on point and there's no sense of awkwardness. For the choreography, I like the casual nature of the dance just like how he intended. It fits the chill concept he was going for and supports the mood of the song. For the production, the highlight is very easily the set design. They designed a very fun and fitting set for the concept. All the props work together, nothing feels out of place. The artwork inside also relates to the concept. If I was the director, I would feel lucky as there are so many opportunities for good footage, except they didn't really capitalize on what they had. And so this leads me to the production of the video itself. Before I get into the editing and directing, I'm going to touch on the camera work for a moment. For the camera work, they did well with some transitions and special effects, but it felt a little clumsy at times, such as whenever they pulled close to the subject. I highly suspect they did not do much rehearsing with the videographer prior to shooting. A lot of the close-up shots seemed like it lacked precision and was a bit mismeasured. It would get unintentionally too close. If that was actually deliberate, then I don't think it's obvious enough and it looks like a mistake. Now, moving on to the editing, I had an unsettling feeling right from the beginning even though there was nothing really wrong yet. My intuition was proven to be right. I didn't really understand the logic and rhythm and the way the scenes were cut. That's not to say there weren't good moments, as there was, and a lot of color editing. But the biggest problem was in the end where they were alternating only between 2 scenes over and over again. There was no variety and it's quite an issue when the song itself is already repetitive with no real climax. The ad-libs are also awkwardly cut and placed. My first thought was, what was the editor thinking? But then knowing how one might arrive in this situation, I realized there may have not been enough footage for the editor to use, and that's why in the end, it's the same thing over and over again. There's barely any B-reel to break up the footage, which usually an editor would take full advantage of, but in this case, I don't think they shot any to begin with, despite having a set design where that would be very easy. So this leads me to the directing and why I feel bad for the set designers and Baekyun. As I mentioned before, there's so much you can do with the props in this set. Every corner is a film opportunity, yet they didn't take full advantage of it, which resulted in the same rolls of footage over and over again. I can think of so many be-real ideas that could have spiced up the ending. All the candy is already there. You can make it rain in slow motion. There's popcorn and stuffed animals to do short shots with. They could have had a be-real with them opening the soda cans that they took in the beginning and letting it burst. Or done some ad-libs with this angle and scene to splice into the end. It's unfortunate because the concept was intended to be bright and lively, yet they skimped out on a lot of chances to make it so. Now I understand it's unfair to be critical of the production team without considering the politics behind the scenes. My conclusion is, and I may be wrong, but my conclusion is that they were not allocated enough time for this music video by the people in charge, which is SM. That would explain the lack of footage, the weird editing at some parts, inaccurate camera work that indicates lack of rehearsing, and generic music. So that's the end of this review. The Brown Sugar House rating for the song is 7 out of 10, and the music video rating is 6.8 out of 10. As I mentioned before, this isn't really about Baekyun himself, as it is more about the work behind the scenes. My suggestion for SM next time is to allocate more time and hire whichever production team they use to hash out Taemin's masterpiece of a music video with Won. You're probably thinking that this is just a music video, why does it matter? He broke sales records anyway, right? I think it should matter because as creatives, whether you're a director, designer, editor, etc., we should always be striving for the better in our work. You shouldn't get complacent just because the artist is popular and guaranteed to make money. So with that, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to visit the website. I'll see you next video.